Hey everybody, JB here. This is my vlog in case you haven't stopped by. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. This is something new that I'm doing, building this up on YouTube and putting this out there to let people into my life a little bit, let them know, what it's like to be a guy that's a motivational speaker, that's an author, that's a consultant and a coach, and kind of some things I go through. I mean, it's just really, like living an open book. And that's what's cool with the new world. We can do all kinds of things. And I happen to be in here in the studio today shooting, so I figured I would just do today's from the studio and share some things that are going on in my business and what's happening in my life. As you know, I've built MorningCoach.com and a pretty big coaching and consulting practice. And primarily, I've done most of that all by myself. I've done most of my video shooting by myself. I do all my audio recording by myself. I answer my emails. I do the tweets. I mean, literally, the majority of the things I do myself. Now, I do have a tech team and great people helping me. And, obviously, Lewis does a lot in the customer service issue. But I had to make some decisions this week because some big things are going on. I'm actually going out to Arizona to get with a great group of people that are pushing me forward, my mastermind. I'm really excited about the first time to get with this group as an actual participant. I had the opportunity to speak to them a couple years ago, and I'm really just honored to be a part of that group. But I had to make a decision, and that decision had to do with letting go of responsibilities. If you're like me, it's really challenging to yield control. So much so, I had a problem with flying in the past. I didn't like to fly. The reason I didn't like to fly was because I was losing control. I was giving control over the pilot. I wasn't driving. And I had a real issue with that. A few years ago, especially when I was actually in the aviation world, when I was flying a lot, I started to have this issue. And really, I think the underlying cause of that was because I wasn't in control. And everything in my life, whether it's been sports, whether it's been business, I've always tended to be in control and wanted to be in control. In fact, so much so I'm really kind of unemployable back even when I was employed because I just didn't want to, I had to be in control of everything that was going on. And so this week, I made some decisions that it was time to let some responsibilities go. And so I'm turning over a lot of the day-to-day stuff that needs to be done within the business over to Lewis, and we're bringing some people onto the team that are going to help us in some specific areas and take that pressure off of me. Of course, I'm going to continue to do my social media. I'm going to do the video, the stuff I love to do, but I got to tell you, it's really hard letting go. And why is that so hard? If you're independent, and you've done things independently for so long, I think it just can be a challenge, And if you've ever been in partnerships and you've yielded that responsibility and then it doesn't get done, you kind of fall back into, I have to do it myself. I think we've all been, or anybody that's really successful, that's going after their dream, has a hard time giving up things. And I think it comes from, the things that have occurred in the past. And specifically for me, giving up some of that responsibility and then not seeing it done is really disappointing. So my positioning today is, fortunately, I've had the ability to work with a few of these people for a long time, and Lewis and Jeremy and a few of the other people that we're working with to start to yield some control. I know how they work, I know how disciplined they are, and I know they can get it done. And that's a big part. But really, it's not even about them. It's more about me being able to focus in on the big picture, because at the end of the day, when I'm doing small things that aren't helping my business, which is, spending too much time analyzing numbers or not focusing in on what needs to be done, I'm not creating. And there are other people that are great at doing those tasks, which I don't even really enjoy anyways, that frees me up to create. And the same thing for you. In this vlog today, the thing that I want to ask you is, what is something that you can give up, that you can yield to somebody else? Or maybe it's someone you need to let go. What is there something in your life that you can give up today and have the strength to let it go? Because I got to tell you what, right now it feels great. You're going to be following this vlog. I'm doing it almost every day. So you're going to see, did it work or didn't it work, or what's going on in my life. But at the end of the day, I would suggest that there's got to be something inside of you that you need to let go of a little bit. It might be some emotional thing, maybe something you're carrying along, might be some responsibilities that you need to finally let somebody use. You know, it's funny, I watch Bar Rescue. That's one of my favorite shows. I know it's hilarious, but you know, John Taffer comes in there, and I haven't met John yet, and I'm sure I will in the future, and I look forward to it. But he'll come in and say, how can you let your manager manage that way when they don't have any empowerment? You're not empowering your manager, and we know that term empowerment. But it's true. We tend to not empower people. We tend to pull back, especially when you've done it so long as yourself. So big transformation for me, and I would challenge you to kind of look inside of your life and look at things that are going on in your life and let go. And kind of leave me some comments on what you're doing. I'd like to see it. We're going to start using this medium more, so I'd like to see some engagement and really have you kind of fill me in on what's going on and things that are happening in your life, because I'm going to be bringing this a lot to you. So awesome. All right. So for me, I got to let go. It's time to move up. You know, we're moving on up. The old Jeffersons, right? Moving on up. And I got to let go of some of that. A little worried about it, but you know what? I've let it go. I'm moving on from this day, and you need to do that too. Thanks for watching the video. If you look over here, I've got a new ebook that I'm giving out, and it's pretty cool. All you have to do is click this link right. I believe it's right here. I might be pointing the wrong direction, but over here, and when you click this link, that's going to take you to an ebook on failure, on why we fail, and it's going to help you overcome some issues, and it's a great free ebook. So just click on that, and you'll be able to download that. All right. So have a great one. Click that download. Have an awesome, awesome day.